This is a short video to show you how to do my version of the corner-to-corner stitch for a pillow cover. And of course we start with a slip knot. Now the difference that I've done in this pattern versus a standard corner-to-corner stitch pattern is that I'm using a chain 5 instead of a chain 6. And this just makes the gap smaller so the pillow form does not show through. So first we're going to start with chain 5. 1, and 5. And the other unique thing about this pattern is I'm using what they call the camel hump, or the third loop of the chain stitch to go in, and that makes a cleaner bottom edge for the edge of the pillow piece. And the camel hump is, again, the third chain, so this pattern is using the third camel hump. So we go 1, 2, 3. And what it is it's the back loop. See that back loop right there? There's your standard front where you would go in. This is the back loop. And you just go underneath that guy. And do your standard double crochet. And then you go to the next one, which is him. Do the same. And the same again. So again, the block instructions were chain 5, do a double crochet in the third chain from the hook using the camel hump, and then do a double crochet in the camel hump of the next 2 chains. And what it is you've got, again, you've got 1, 2, 3 double crochets and the chain 2 space, which will be used later on, that space right there. And this is the top of the chain 2 space. So that was the first row, 1 block. So we're going to build another one, which means we're building it from scratch, so we chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, count back 3, 1, 2, 3, and you just kind of just turn it a little. Oop, don't lose your wrap. And go into the third camel hump. And the one next to it, and the one next to that. Now at this point, you have to attach this block to that block. And it's not as simple as just going that way, or you'd have a straight band. We want to make stair steps. So the confusing part of all corner to corner is getting started because you have to turn it. And everybody's used to turning our whole work. But this block stays still. You only turn block 1. And then we will slip stitch into the top of the chain 2 space, which is him. Oops, helps if I get through both. And you want to go under both or it'll make a bit of a gap. And that's what we're trying to not have, is a gap. So that was a slip stitch join. So that was the block on row 1. This is the first block of row 2. Now we're going to build another block off this way, which we only need chain 2. And then we will put 3 double crochets into the chain 2 space. 1, 2, and 3. So that makes the end of row 2, which we have 2 blocks. So now we're going to start row 3, which is another starting block of 5. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yarn over, 1, 2, 3, we go into the third one. Again, I've used the camel hump throughout the whole thing. If you want to use it, you can. If you don't want to use it, that's also fine. It just makes a cleaner edge when that chain is on the outer edge of the piece, and it sets a little bit cleaner next to the other blocks. So it's 6 one, half dozen the other. There's no right or wrong. It's your piece. Okay, so I've done the first block of row 3. Now I have to attach that over to this point. So that block stays still, and I turn the rest of the work so that I can then slip stitch to the top of the chain 2 space, just a plain simple slip stitch, and there it's attached. And then I chain 2 again loosely, and I put 3 double crochets into the chain 2 space. Oops. Here's the third. And that means that I then have to attach it to that block, which you can count 1, 2, 3 and slip stitch it into that top. And there he's attached. Build the last block, 1, 2. Now sometimes the ones on the end are a little hard to find your chain 2 space. You just kind of open them up. He's going to be right in there. So that's where I'm going to put the 3. 1, 2, and 3. So there we've finished row 3. So again, this block here was row 1. This block and this block are row 2, and then 1, 2, and 3 are row 3. So you kind of get to see the stair steps that I keep talking about, and that's where you're going to attach your next row. Hope this helps. Bye.